You're now listening to the Garage Guys Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Garage fam, welcome. The divisional playoffs are over.
Get in there.
I don't want to get in anywhere this week.
Cheers.
But okay, cheers. Hey, we have Nixon joining us on the show. Nixon, the man, the myth, the legend. Cheers, Nixon.
Cheers.
All right. For those of you who might not know Nixon, frontman, Freeman Hanley, also Two in the Bank podcast went on for a little while. Had that going down. Big DFS guy, big fantasy football guy. Also, big guy that likes to make me feel sad when I have Drew Brees jerseys on when he gets beat on possibly his last game. So, but we won't talk about that much.
Big got into our NASCAR content.
Yeah, and official almost NASCAR boy. He's on his way.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's funny. I remember I found you guys because of NASCAR, because I'm a degenerate gambler, and you guys were like a couple of the guys. I was like, oh, these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to vroom vroom. I'm gonna ask them a couple questions, and like here we are now. Y'all made me actually enjoy NASCAR because of gambling reasons, but y'all also knew what you were talking about. And like, to me, it was like you introduced me to I guess an understanding of DFS for NASCAR. Like I take pride in knowing I know most sports when it comes to DFS and just sports in general. I'm a Nashville, Tennessee boy, so I grew up with some redneck ass family members that are NASCAR fans and could never be on their level and talk to them about that. And then you guys, like, legit were like, I understood NASCAR because of a gambling perspective, because of you guys. And
right. We appreciate that.
Here we are now because of that conversation that we had on Twitter, where I was just like, yo, I asked you guys a question, I think, when I subbed to y'all for like a week, and it made me like understand from a different perspective. And
I want to say it was
I
about
just
the trucks,
appreciate
wasn't
that.
it? It was about the trucks, right? It was about the trucks.
Yeah, I think it was. It was trucks. Yeah.
Dude,
which there was to me, I was like, oh, there's an edge here. Like,
yeah.
And but,
in a way,
but legit, like y'all crushed in that space.
In a way, like that's what we're going for. That like this is the exact thing we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Is like bring in people for
got me
obviously to make money, but like also fans. Like, and you like we found a way to appeal to someone like you who's nothing to do with NASCAR.
Yeah. No, it was just like, look, I think we'd all agree. DFS is a lot. It's not soft anymore. Like it's all about like putting in the research, and like this was I guess an avenue where I thought like this is softer than the shit that I know well. So I could use somebody else's perspective to introduce me to another landscape and like help me get better at like have an edge on an edge up, I guess, on the field. And NASCAR was that, but like trucks is another thing too. Like
and Xfinity trucks. I mean, there's so much in that landscape. But
y'all were that. Like when I asked you guys a question and y'all got back like that, and I was like, all right, let's see what I want to say I had a great fucking week that week. So I was like,
that's all that matters at the end of the day.
This.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Here we are. I'm hanging out with a fucking Brady stan and a Breeze stan, and we're about to really get into this shit. So
yeah, dude. So again, just thanks so much. Before we do get into these games, though, as always, Garage Guys Fantasy Sports brought to you by Drip Drop Hydration. I'm sipping hibiscus tonight, but we got the berry. Okay, we're gonna get you some. We're gonna get you some, Nixon. We'll get you some Drip Drops so you can be dripping. We rip it and drip it in these parts of the world. But Drip Drop RS was invented to treat dehydration in the most challenging circumstances. It's used by athletes, firefighters, military members, the Garage Guys, Garage Fam. And you can get over to dripdrop.com, use promo code GarageGuys20 today. Get 20% off your order. Get the drip, rip it and drip it. Cheers to drip. Cheers to you again. Let's dig into the night. So I'm up in Nashville, obviously. Came up here to meet up with Drew. And then when I'm on my way up here, I'm like, yo, I'm up here because we were going to link up to do the show. You're here in Nashville. We link up. So we literally just all got back. We just got done watching the terrible tragedy that was the Saints-Bucks for Saints fans for this. And I'm just going ahead and say this right now before we even dig into this game. If you're a Saints fan and you have anything to blame on referees or anything that has nothing to do with the fact that the Bucks outplayed the Saints, you need to completely stop being a Saints fan and go watch another sport because we're not having that shit. It sucks. It hurts. Breeze might be retiring. I'm pretty sure he is retiring.
Should be.
So you get over it, and it is what it is. So we just gotta, like the Jets do.
Loser.
Yeah, like the Jets do. Just endure the suffering. So we just have to remember that. But it was cool, man. So like with tonight, getting to meet up, link up, and find out more, just about each other as far as like you playing. I know that we need to talk a little about Chris Godwin. Does that name mean anything to you? No.
So listen. I would have closed out a lot of parlays tonight if Chris Godwin had just gotten a goddamn touchdown. But I'm also like, listen, I've won a lot of money because of Chris Godwin too. And as a Jaguars fan and as a free agent for Chris Godwin's a free agent. I want nothing more than for that guy to be a Jaguar next year. Highly unlikely, but he's also probably got the best hands in the NFL. Like that's just one of those guys where like you just toss up a ball, Godwin's gonna get like I don't think people realize how good he is as a receiver because he's been on a team with Mike Evans and now AB this year. Like that guy is a monster dating back to PSU. Like that guy is a monster. I would love for him to be a Jaguar. Honestly, as much as I'm rooting for your boy TB, like I would love for him not to be on that team next year. Even if it's not with the Jaguars next year, I would love for him to just be the undisputed number one on a team next year. Like give Deshaun Watson, if he stays in Houston, which is not going to happen. We all know that. But imagine Deshaun Watson in Miami.
It's interesting you say that because, like, to me, like, I'm curious if they go on to beat the Packers and get a Super Bowl. Do you see somebody like Chris Godwin take less money and come back?
You don't have to worry about that, dog. Like they're not going to beat the Packers. It's going to be the
I don't
Packers.
know. I think
it's going to be the Packers and the Bills.
Dude, I think the Packers are going to lose.
I won't be upset. Like I like as someone that was the resident Brady hater for a long time because I am a big, I'm here in Nashville. Unfortunately, I am a Vanderbilt Commodores fan.
Clay's not gonna like that one.
Yeah,
just wait till you meet our guy Clay.
Listen, there's not much to root for there.
How does that? How did you become a Vandy fan?
How does that happen? I'm born and raised here, man. Like it's not anything I like.
Never escaped.
No, I'm born and raised. But I recognize greatness. So like Peyton I've always been a Peyton homer. I think Peyton was the greatest quarterback of all time until the fucking until the Falcons Patriots Super Bowl. And then I was like, oh wow, there's no disputing this anymore. Like this guy, this guy did this. And then now we look at him doing this in Tampa, with Byron Leftwich as his OC, which again, a Jaguars fan. huge love for Byron Leftwich, but like he's look at hey, everybody wanted to say for so long, what is Brady without Belichick? Hey, motherfuckers, look up Belichick without Brady and look up Brady without Belichick and then get back to me, because at this point there's a big discrepancy here. And I don't care what Brady does with his sons on their mouths. Like this guy
he does. He puts in his articles.
This guy he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Now listen,
you can't deny
listen, is Mahomes probably, if he can walk, is he gonna pass that up? Probably. Or there are other quarterbacks, because it's just the day and age. Like, I'm a huge LeBron stan. Like, I love LeBron. Are we gonna see players? Yeah, are we gonna see players that come and like do away with him in years, like 10 years? Yeah, probably.
We're gonna see always like it's always going, it's always moving, like tons of evolution.
And I'm never gonna be that guy that just like goes against evolution. Guess what? Mahomes is gonna be better than Brady. Hey, guess what, guys? Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars is going to be better than both of them. But
you just say that because you're a Jags fan. You say it because you're an Urban Meyer Jags fan.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like I'm never going to be that guy that's just like, oh, he's the greatest of all time. Right now, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I'm tired of arguing about it. He is the greatest, and I want him to fucking go to the Super Bowl. I want to see that. I want to see that.
I think we both do at this point too. I mean, I know me personally, after tonight, after this game, just the way that he was able to get out there and compose himself. Because the big thing about the game was the Sunday night game with Drew was that he couldn't get the ball down the field. There's just so many issues there, and he's a couple years younger than Tom. So it just goes to show how much work Tom has put in to get where he's at, to be on this team, to be doing this away from Belichick. He's able to spread the ball around. He's able to still kind of do these things. And in a way, like the fountain of youth found him. But it's not going to be that way for every quarterback. But this game in general, just kind of digging into it from the jump. Like, I mean, it started out, it was kind of a slow-paced game. It started out to be more really defensive. But as it went on, it just seemed like the Saints' confidence just started to just tank with Breeze's play. And there were some decent plays that came out of things. It was good to see Traquan Smith get back in the end zone. I know he's been out for a little bit. But I think the big story about tonight's game on the Saints side is the fact that Michael Thomas, what was it? He had 4 targets, 0 receptions.
Yeah. 0 catches.
Zero catches, yeah.
And you brought up something when we were out about how he had quote tweeted something that Urban Meyer had said about the Jags.
I don't think that'll ever happen. That's just me wishful thinking. But yeah, he goes, things are getting interesting, I think is what his tweet was. I don't think, listen, I love MT's talent. I think he's one of the best receivers in football. I think his, like, where he's at has been elevated because of his QB for a couple of years now. I don't think he's anywhere near the level of Davante Adams. I think the fact that has ever been a discussion is crazy. I also think Nuke is also way above MT. And like what we're seeing now, like his teammates, like it's come out like his teammates don't like him. Listen, I would love to have him on my team. I think that guy, like, since Ohio State, has proven to be elite. But it's also like, it reaches the point of like, where do you draw a line? I don't think, I guess, let me say this. They didn't lose this game tonight because of Michael Thomas. They got here this season without him all season. So they didn't lose because of MT tonight. They lost tonight because the fucking Buccaneers are the better team. I've thought that all season. I thought
it's hard to beat a team 3 times. That's what everybody's saying. That's exactly. Gonna be the narrative. It's hard to beat.
And regardless, like
on the back for a Saints fan
or not, like I do think like overall the Buccaneers are a better team, and we saw them do this tonight with Fournette who everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like it was just like they came out tonight and for once Arians wasn't a donkey and like coach like they should have coached the team and the defense showed up like yeah, I mean throughout the game it was a close game. I think the Saints could have pulled out, the win, but
More
I
Jameis, maybe? Is that where you're going?
yeah.
Yeah. You was hating heavy on Drew, man. That was but I mean,
I've been
you
I've
deserved
been
it in a
hating
way.
heavy
It
on
just
Drew
sucks.
for a long time. I don't know that they could have put fucking Jameis in there tonight and have been any different, but guess what? They could have figured this out before now if they wouldn't have been, Sean McVay or got Sean Payton and his hard on for fucking Taysom Hill all season. Like they
He
could have
lost
at
him.
least
All
figured
the
out
moves
what
he
they
left.
had with Jameis.
I didn't think, but like honestly, I didn't think Brady was particularly great tonight.
He wasn't.
I thought it was more of Breeze made more mistakes than Brady, and that's kind of a test, like a testimony to Brady's greatness. I feel like many times people forget about his biggest wins or when people make more mistakes than him. Like to me, Breeze threw 3 picks tonight.
Yeah.
And Brady wasn't great, but Brady didn't throw 3 picks.
He just wasn't getting the ball where it needed to go. I mean, and like I said, it seemed almost like, like Tom will go out there, he'd be able to throw the ball, get it where it needed to go. And then it's like Breeze. I said it last season, I'll say it again. It's almost like he has this complex where he's just like, I'm just going to try to throw it deep. And when he does, it's like he's off or it's shaky and then it comes off the tip of somebody's fingers. And then here comes a defender to get in and scoop it up. And we saw that happen.
It was 3 picks, right?
Yeah.
3 picks.
And what was it? And then the Devin White, watch out a little bit.
I mean, how many times has Breeze thrown 3 picks all year?
It's just bad. It's like it's been this way. But I mean, like it went from the referee deal, and then it's like we started beating ourselves the past 2 years. We beat ourselves with the Vikings. We beat ourselves tonight, and that's plain and simple. And like everybody's talking about the riding the coattails of Breeze, how Sean Payton's doing that and stuff. It's just you want to give your starting guy, and I've come around to that after having many conversations with Drew. About how you want to give your guy. He's been the guy there forever. He won you a Super Bowl. You want to give him all the opportunity you can. But at what point does that run out? And I think that's just kind of what's happening. The gas is running out of the tank. And, it sucks that not everybody can play till they're 43 years old. But, that's the reality of it.
He's 42.
Dude, he threw 3 picks, but he also threw less than 140 yards passing.
Yeah.
And that's
also,
rough.
Listen, I'm being completely honest right now. I drank tonight. I do not remember Jameis threw a 54-yard touchdown. When did that happen?
That happened earlier in the game. Like that was for a little
before the third.
That was the one.
It was a trick play.
Yeah, because he was pulling.
I do remember us discussing that. Okay.
Yeah. 2020 vision. All the way down.
Automatically assumed that was not Jameis because Sean Payton likes to use every other fucking person on the roster.
But the QB.
Yeah. But they brought him in for the deep ball. That's what just mattered. Like they brought him in for the deep ball. So I mean, if that, it's like they bring Taysom in for the deep ball, they bring Jameis in. If that doesn't expose your QB right off the bat,
Breeze wanted to retire last year. Payton. He took that job with NBC or whatever, and Payton talked him into coming back. And how sad of an ending to your career is this? You end up going to the divisional round of playoffs against, of all people, the guy that you were head-to-head with, all the records, and you throw for 134 yards and 3 picks. It's sad. It's like, no matter what, it's a sad ending to your career. Yeah.
bury me.
It is like
it is sad.
I've been a fan of his since Purdue. Like I wanted that guy to do great things. Listen, I don't think that's as big of a Breeze thing as it is really. Peyton's a fake sharp at this point. I think I'll die on that hill. I think Peyton's a fake sharp. You see what his fucking boner that he gets for Taysom, like for real, like figure it out, dude. Like it's insane. I don't want to put that all on Breeze at this point. Obviously, he had a lot to do with the resurrection of Drew Brees' career, but at this point, like I feel like the game's starting to pass him up. Like when you're just throwing out Taysom Hill just because you want to and you love that dude, like get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah,
like,
just time hits everybody at some point, man, and that's just kind of what happened. I don't want to keep sad boy in it because it's sad boy. It's sad, and there's no way to make it funny. There's no way to spin things. The only thing that I will say was funny about it was when Devin White literally just like shoved that guy in the face. That was a fun moment, not for me as a Saints fan, but just to watch as a football fan. Right. But other than this game, I mean, obviously now we got Bucks. And we have Green Bay. We'll definitely be previewing that one. And that's going to be the one to look out for. And I do hope to see him make it all the way. I hope Brady makes it all the way at this point. I will say that. Like I'd rather see the team that took my favorite team down get all the way than to let somebody else beat them. And I'm weird like that.
I think people that are going to want Rodgers. I really do. Like Rodgers has one Super Bowl. I'm saying like I think your opinion's fine, but I think it'll be unpopular. I think people are.
He's also.
Brady fatigue is real. Like Brady fatigue, in my opinion, is real.
Yeah, but Rodgers also had like a huge face turn this year with his McAfee. Like just
the fire went under his ass.
The personality that we've seen from him doing Pat McAfee's show, and like it's made me a huge fan. Where I'm just like, he's hilarious now. Like and like you said, yeah, them drafting a quarterback and not giving him any weapons and. Adams the best receiver of the fucking probably last 10 years, like, and then just proving that point. How can you not root? But we're bearing the lead here because, dudes, this is the Buffalo Bills fucking.
Let's go. That's
I like. They're a team of destiny, and I'm not ever that guy that like says that, but like, dude, look at Josh Allen right now, and I'm not taking like the MVP is Rodgers. No denying that, like in my opinion. Like
I'm more of the opinion that Josh deserves. I don't know.
Look at those numbers. I wouldn't. Rodgers did this without adding anyone.
True. Yeah.
Josh Allen's doing this right now with adding the best deep ball catcher in the game. Like they added Stephon Diggs, who, in my opinion,
he was so up and down, and it's just like consistent city now, like all the way.
No, I'm not taking away from Allen, but I'm not taking away. He's a stud.
He's a white Cam Newton.
Diggs is no. He's
old Cam, the old Cam, old white Cam.
Fuck that. Yeah. Fuck that. This guy, like, he's gonna hit a ceiling that Cam never realized, and he also has the best route runner in football. Maybe. Adams might be the best. Adams, we've seen this.
I think it's Adams.
Yeah, I mean we've heard Collinsworth even point that out, like just the things he does with his footwork. Like he doesn't even have to do anything; it's just his feet. But Diggs is that guy, the most underappreciated wide receivers in football. I'll name three right now. You're gonna agree with two of them. One, Stephon Diggs. Two, Keenan Allen. Three, Curtis Samuel, and you guys are going to realize that when he gets to another team next year. I watch Curtis Samuel land somewhere with like fucking Tennessee Titans next year, and then we're going to be like, oh shit, this guy's on another level. He's Stephon Diggs number 2.
I 100% agree with your Keenan Allen take. Keenan Allen's been underappreciated. I've been big on this my entire time on the podcast. I think Keenan Allen's underappreciated. I'll say this, like what you're saying about Aaron Rodgers being MVP is so true because they could have had, looking back at the draft, they could have T. Higgins, bro. They could have T. Higgins, and that would be your number 2. Aaron, the Lazard King being number 3.
Oh yeah, always represent the Lazard King.
And they didn't need it. You know why? They have Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Yeah,
they took the most overrated football player in this draft, AJ Dillon. People think that guy's gonna replace Aaron Jones.
Are you talking about Saquon too with the frog legs?
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Saquon too. It's fucking what was the God bless, what was the running back that the Titans took like 4 years ago in like early in the draft? Oh, what was that dude's name?
I have
He
no idea.
can't.
All I know is Derrick Henry.
Oh fuck, what was that guy's name?
I know Deion Lewis
like,
was a free agent pickup. They picked him up.
No, it was before Deion even.
Yeah.
It was like just such a hilarious pick. Like he doesn't deserve the Saquon name. Like, listen,
why won't Matt LaFleur?
You think AJ Dillon's ever gonna work? Like,
No,
how often do we see a Derrick Henry pan out in the NFL? In today's NFL,
Somebody as big as him. I mean,
it's usually a downhill runner. That's it. Derrick Henry like breaks those rules. It's like they're like Najee Harris. I'll even say that right now. I'll go out on a like he needs to share a backfield with someone. Like ETN is going to be the running back of the next class that just goes on and is a stud, just like DeAndre Swift's going to be from this class. I mean, yes, Jonathan Taylor's a stud,
if he doesn't,
but like
if he doesn't die the Lions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we see this shit all the time. Where like, dude, AJ Dillon is not. He can't hold his jock strap. And I loved when he scored that touchdown the other day. And I don't know if y'all remember last night. And he like the camera stood on him forever. And Aaron Jones was like struggling to get out the Green Bay Packers like chain he had.
He's trying to figure it out. Yeah, he's trying to
basically being like, hey, bring me back. Because that team needs him back next year. If they want to do what they're doing right now, they need that nucleus back. Jamal Williams is a free agent. They need him back. They need Aaron Jones back. They need
Aaron Jones is my man.
Yes.
I'm big Aaron Jones.
Why won't they let him be the workhorse though? Like
that's what I want. I want Aaron Jones workhorse.
It blows my mind. Like I have some respect level for Matt LaFleur. Beat it LaFleur. But like it blows my mind when you see them hand the ball to Aaron Jones.
Bishop Sankey, by the way. Sorry.
That was I remember that.
That was the running back.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Mr. Sankey.
No.
Shout out to South Park, Mr. Sankey.
Bishop Sankey. I actually remember him, and I can't believe it.
They thought he was gonna be the answer, dude.
I remember thinking having him.
He was gonna be the answer.
Yeah, Bishop Sankey.
Bishop Sankey.
But the Aaron Jones thing, like seriously, you've heard me talk about this for 2.5 years now. They'll be Aaron Jones. They'll hand the ball off to him, and he'll get 60 yards, and then they'll go AJ Dillon for 4, AJ Dillon for 4, and it's like, why won't you just let somebody, especially someone that you don't want to pay? Like it's been obvious they don't want to pay him in free agency. Okay, if you don't want to pay him, then just work him into the ground.
I think LaFleur is a big nap guy. Like he wants his running backs to take naps.
I also thought that until last night when we saw that game, and he was like just smashing, and then LaFleur was just like, "Hey, we're gonna give Williams the ball here," and then Williams, like, to their credit, like Williams was like running for 9 yards a carry, I think last night. Like it was like every time he touched the ball, it was great. And then we had that huge, like you said, 60-yard run from Aaron Jones where it was just like, hey, why are you guys doing this like donkeys? Like just give him the ball. But I do think they know like, hey, we've got studs here. I do wonder if at this point they're trying to convince themselves of, hey, we can sign Jamal cheaper.
Yeah.
And obviously we have AJ, and then just let Aaron go. And that's why last night when Aaron scored that touchdown and like the camera stayed on him forever, and he was like struggling to get the chain out. I think it was Adams or somebody on the line came over to help him get the chain out. And it was like him showing off the Green Bay Packer logo on his chain.
Yeah. He's a part of that.
Like,
he's a part of that.
Trying to say, yeah, it was like was he trying to say like, hey, bring me back? But
they're letting him go.
Yeah, I mean, AJ is not Aaron. I think Jamal in that offense can be very special. He's not Aaron, but he shows every time Jamal gets the ball, he shows like he can produce. What that team needs Can you guys
Aaron
imagine?
Jones gets picked up by the right team, he's a
Woo.
top 5, top 6 fantasy
Yes.
football draft pick.
Imagine if Deshaun Watson stays in Houston and they had an Aaron Jones.
That would be incredible.
Also, imagine
all the
if
O-line could be fixed. Like,
imagine if Aaron Jones leaves Green Bay, but they somehow added an Allen Robinson. Aaron Jones doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's
this is going to be a crazy offseason. And there are a lot of things right now where I think the landscape of football can change. And like we were talking about earlier tonight, like in a lot of ways, we're looking at this and like people are going to look back and be like, oh, it was the COVID year, because we have right now the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship
It's
game.
wild. It makes no fucking sense.
But are any of us saying that they can't win the Super Bowl? Nope.
No, I legit like going if we were to go ahead and like, you know, obviously like the Kansas City game and, you know, the Browns game happened earlier today. But I mean, if we go into that Buffalo Bills game last night, it was just, I understand Lamar went down, but dude, like the first thing I want to bring up is Josh Allen's performance acting at the flop that he hit. Like,
oh, good, dude,
it was beautiful. Like he could
Premier League. He's going to Premier League. Yeah,
all the way,
Chelsea
with that mustache.
I'm just what gets me every time is that like Drew and I will be discussing like, you know, these receivers that are in Buffalo, and you know every week we'll think, okay, well like Stephon Diggs is hitting it, so it's like, okay, Cole Beasley's gonna have to get some, John Brown's gonna have to get some, you know, what was it, Davis, Greg Davis, I believe Gabriel Davis is gonna have to get. It's like so we're spreading the ball out everywhere, and it's like as soon as you think you're being smart by like playing like Beasley or somebody, Stephon Diggs is just like, nope, same guy, like every week.
Well, it helps when he's literally he's a top 3 receiver in football.
Yeah.
Like you put him on any squad. That's the thing though, is like I'm a huge dynasty football player. Gabriel Davis is a real thing. Like people don't realize that. Like that guy's gonna be a stud, and he hasn't even seen like his like ceiling yet, because they've got Cole Beasley, they've got Isaiah McKenzie that they fucking throw in there. Like that team, imagine like if Moss reaches his potential. Imagine if they added an Aaron Jones or like a stud running back.
I don't think they need a running back there though. Already, because like Singletary, like coming in, like we discussed like about putting him in some DFS lineups this week, and like I was automatically just like, I don't think I want to do anything run game like Zach Moss has shown a little bit of promise, but like dude, Josh Allen is the running back, and it's that simple. He's one. That's why I say he's like the white Cam Newton. Like you don't want a running back from a Cam Newton system. Like it's just it doesn't hit right.
They had I think they dropped. I think Josh Allen had almost 50 dropbacks yesterday. They ran the ball like less than 10 times. Like it's different.
It's just looking at it from that perspective, like the Ravens, like obviously they were like very like favored. So I mean, it's like I think that like that helped a lot, just knowing the fact that Lamar's out of here, you're not having to do so much. He was just able just to sling it. He just showcased that arm, that he's got the arm like where he needs it to be. So like when you're looking at what is like Aaron Rodgers and how their passing game is set up, and then the Bills, we could see another 3 to 4 years of Rodgers and Buffalo. And then maybe what if they win another 4 years getting the Super Bowl and they didn't win another 4 years? How sad would that be?
Yeah. I don't know. We're just seeing the beginning of that team's like nucleus really like starting to hit right now. And that's without a run game. And like you said, like they don't need a run game really, but you need a run game. I still think they could
a backup plan.
Yeah, they could win the Super Bowl this year. It won't surprise me. I think the Super Bowl is going to be, I said this 3 days ago, I think the Super Bowl is going to be Buffalo and Green Bay. And I think Buffalo is going to win the Super Bowl. Hey, I know that's
right. I hope you're right. I would love to see Josh. That'd be huge.
I think the Chiefs, I've said on the podcast the entire year that I thought there's one tier one team and that's the Chiefs. There's probably 5 or 6 teams that fall into the tier 2 team. But lately, I feel like the Chiefs have been kind of vulnerable. Like I don't trust the Chiefs as much as I used to, and I think the Bills can get them. The Bills can get them right now.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think Mahomes is okay.
You saw the Chiefs versus the Falcons this year, and that was just one of those games where like, what?
By the skin of their teeth.
Yeah. What was it, 10-7? I think was the final score, and everybody loaded up on that game in DFS, and we're all just like, what the hell is going on here?
Like, I agree with you, but also on the other hand, like every great team kind of plays around with their food sometimes, and they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking away. Mahomes is if he doesn't end up being the greatest quarterback of all time, like that's that at this point already, and that says a lot. That's a big disappointment.
Josh Allen can outscore him. Like I really think that, because I don't think the Bills can stop Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I don't think they can do that. But I don't know. I don't know if the Chiefs defense can stop Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, and Cole Beasley and John Brown.
That AFC Championship game next week with a healthy Mahomes is what we all deserve. Yeah. Like just them both firing, especially with the Bills coming off of basically a lackluster performance in that first half. We need them just, you know what I'm saying? Like those two teams just firing on all cylinders is what we all deserve as football fans.
Oh, both games are going to be incredible.
I think I think they have an incredible slate. Incredible slate.
It's gonna be fun for sure. I'm sucks for the Ravens fans, whatever. That's what happens. Edgar Allan Poe birds lose again. Moving back to the Chiefs though, the game today. Shout out to what did we say? What was it? Henne? What was the slogan we made?
Henne Given Sunday.
Henne Given Sunday. Chad Henne gets in there, gets it done after Baker flubs. I was sitting right here on this couch earlier today, said to myself, they had every opportunity to strike and take advantage of a vulnerable Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes out of the game, and Baker could not close on that. This will be a moment that sticks in the back of his head. And I honestly, at this point, it's obvious two options. Either he's going to overcome it and next year they're going to be able to get right back in the position they're in and they're going to move forward one more game, or this is going to live in his head for the rest of time that Chad Henne and the Kansas City Chiefs overtook him like when they were at their worst.
I think that was also a Stefanski donkey moment. Like
it was a bad stock day for Wall Street.
Well, it was like the Titans last week. They just wanted to just keep pounding and it's funny because it's almost the opposite where like Chubb did look better as the game went on. But they were like throwing the ball 15 yards down the field and like every time they would do that late in the game, the receivers were making great catches and they didn't do it until third down. I felt like so many times that they lost that game. Like, yes, obviously they were given an opportunity because of the Mahomes injury, but like, dude, take advantage of that shit. Also, let me give you a very hot take right now. The worst fucking rule in all of sports is you can't advance a fumble, but you fumble a ball at the 1 yard line and it goes out in the goddamn end zone and it's a fucking touchback. Get rid of that antiquated rule. Guess what? If you want to punish them, if it goes out of there, then give them first and goal from the 20-yard line instead of just giving the other team the fucking ball. That is such a bad. I can't believe that's just as bad as nowadays, like us doing pro football overtime over college football overtime. It's so bad.
How did this rule come into formation is my question.
How?
Like I was telling him earlier, like the Leatherheads were all playing like in the 1920s.
It's like somebody was trolling.
Yeah.
It was such a stud move from like, if you're sniffing the end zone, you do what Higgins did and you reach for the end zone. You fumble. Hey, you get the ball where he fumbled just like you do anywhere else on the field. And I get, hey, if you want to be like, yo, it was because it was in the end zone and it went out, then don't just give the other team the fucking ball.
That was such a huge
punish
moment.
them and take it back to the 20-yard line. Like, think about like that. They were firing for the first half. They were firing on all cylinders in that drive and just drop boom, 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 and then that happened.
Yeah.
And I do love that. Like, they went back to Higgins immediately in the second half, and like we're like, hey, we're not like you're still one of
That's
our
Baker's
guys.
guy, dude. That is Baker's guy through and through.
And that's
like,
what
dude,
everybody doesn't realize, right? They did this today without OBJ. Like that team can do some really good things. The unfortunate thing is they're in the AFC North, where they've got two other teams, obviously.
Can you really say Pittsburgh at this point?
Yeah,
After what they did to him last week?
Exactly. And he's coming back too. He already announced. But they've got Burrow now, probably going to add Jamar Chase or a stud OL that's also going to help. But like that division's good. They're not going away. They're going to I don't know. It's just one of those things where like, as a Jaguars fan, I root for underdogs, and like seeing the way that went down at the end of the first half was just like, why is that a rule still?
I agree.
Why is that a rule still?
It should not carry the weight that it carried in that game.
It changed everything. It changed everything in that first half.
We're gonna file a petition.
Yeah,
file a petition right now.
If they score there, it ended up being a 10-point win, right?
Yeah.
Get 7, and then they went and scored 3, and then right after the second, like after that half, they get the ball back. So it's like it changes everything.
I saw people with the take of they shouldn't he shouldn't have reached out to try to extend for the touchdown. And I think that's
why?
I think that's so dumb because like natural instincts will always take over, and you're always going to try to go for the touchdown. So why penalize them? I'm with you. Like, at least give them the ball. Give a 10-yard penalty, first and goal from the 11, 12, whatever, and let's play football.
Stand or not, dude. That was just like an unfortunate, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just made a heads up play and it hit the ball. They're like, extending or not, that was just, it happened. It was bang bang.
Yeah,
he extended. They hit it right at the right time, and it went out. I just remember like seeing that, and I was like, of course that would happen to the Browns.
Yeah, to the Browns.
So it's gonna be this, like, obviously, yeah, if the Browns would have advanced, it would have been a lot easier to say that the Bills would have been walking into a Super Bowl. So now it's definitely gonna be a little bit more of a tough game with a healthy Mahomes coming back in. But anyway, great Sunday, except for tonight, and my heart got ripped out. But we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move backward. Going back to Saturday, kick it off with the Rams and the Packers. We already talked a little bit about Aaron Jones and those things. What we didn't really get to talk about was Beta Pissboy and how he didn't get to follow through. So we were real high. I think you had in your chef bets this week, you had money line for the Rams
and the spread.
So, we were really high on Beta. We wanted Beta to win. It was more of a deal for me. Like, it wouldn't even matter now, assuming the Saints would have been able to win. Rams would have been a great revenge time in New Orleans. It would have been fun. I wanted to try to get that. Didn't happen. Doesn't matter anymore. Cam Akers, though, I feel like is a big story of this team now. It's almost seemed like now that we're in the ass end of the season, like he's finally like showing like why everybody was so high on the guy. And so it's good to see him kind of come into his own. I think you were tweeting about Cam on Saturday.
I don't want to talk about that.
You want to talk about it? You talking about Chris Godwin?
I lost a lot of money yesterday because fucking every time that Goff's dumbass was under pressure and sacked, he had Akers right there to just dump off the ball. I think his line was 14.5 for receiving yards, and I hit that so hard. And he finished with 6. He finished with 6. So it was especially frustrating because I love Bob Woods, Bob Trees. I love Robert Woods, man.
I love
Bobby Trees.
But I think Akers has proven down the stretch he's the best offensive player on that team. And then you just put the ball in his hands any way you can. In college, he was a great pass catcher. And then they didn't even they would still continue using Malcolm Brown. And just like I said about Sean Payton earlier, And this is why I like literally I flubbed on his name and said Sean McVay is a fake sharp. It's because Sean McVay is also a fake sharp.
Beta
Like
piss boy.
They're
both that.
Both Sean's are fake sharps. Just listen. The only good thing about that game yesterday, as a Jaguars fan, is that Jalen Ramsey got his ass eaten up by the best receiver in football. So
wow.
I'm good with that. But like, yeah, I mean, I never thought the Rams were going to win that game. I thought it was insane that they beat Seahawks, but that's also again because Seahawks have a terribly overrated coach. When is he?
I agree with that. I don't necessarily agree. I don't agree with the Sean Payton take. I will say that, but I'm a kind of people think I'm a Saints hater. I'm not. I don't think Sean Payton's overrated.
He's kind of a Saints hater.
But I do think what you're saying is 100% true about Pete Carroll. Like that guy is
Carroll's so bad,
dude. So overrated. Bad. Like
imagine having Russell Wilson as your quarterback.
Yeah.
And only how many Super Bowls do they have?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
One,
right? They should have all of them. They should have all of them when he's your quarterback. Like especially after you add DK Metcalf to your team, and
someone changed his gum.
Yeah,
I'll say this about the Rams though. Like I think they had the chance, and I text my group of football guys that I have about this. I think they had an opportunity to make a statement that they were one of the best defenses of our time. And they failed miserably. Like you take Aaron Donald, who is literally one of the best players of all time. Like he's monster. So good. And you take Jalen Ramsey, who arguably is one of the best defensive backs right now. And I thought it was just a complete blown opportunity to make a statement. I'm not going to say they were a best defense of all time because the game's changed so much, but they would have been the best defense of our like generation of fantasy football and new football if you stop Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson back to back, and they failed.
Yeah, I don't think as somebody that like, so I'm from Nashville.
Should be a Titans.
Jalen's from Brentwood here in town. Like I'm very familiar with Jalen. I'm a Jaguars fan. Jalen was my guy. You know, I think the idea that he would. Even if he shadowed Davante Adams, you tell him he's ever going to stop Davante Adams is the most hilarious shit in this world. In DFS, the fact that people were fading Adams, give me Adams 10 out of 10 times against Jalen. I've seen Jalen get his shit like just stuff shoved down his throat,
obliterated,
facing way worse receivers than Adams. Adams is the best receiver in football, hands down. And
that's an argument.
The fact that,
I said that is definitely an argument.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you don't think Adams is the best receiver in football?
I thought DeAndre.
He's one of the best.
Oh no, I'd say Nuke for sure. And we've seen Nuke and Jalen.
Nuke just does
battle out.
I don't think
in AFC South for years, and now we see them do it now. And then, but I will not argue. It's either Nuke or Adams.
I think Nuke and Adams were hot takes going into the season. You look at Adams' season, and Adams has had a great year. But to me, with Nuke, it's like you look at the all the quarterbacks he's played with. Me and you have talked about it, and
on just being on one team, all the quarterbacks he's playing with. That's what's hilarious about it. But I got right there, Bill O'Brien's offense.
I've gotten crap though for I said that I thought he was better than Mike Thomas, and I feel like I was kind of frowned upon. Like.
No, you were, but I mean, you proved that guy wrong. Yeah, that didn't take long.
He's definitely. If anybody is better than Adams, it is Nuke.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say Davante's not bad, but I mean, dude, it's just he's able to get it done. But I've just seen you've seen like even with the Texans. I mean, me as a Saints fan, I should be over here, Michael Thomas. But let's be real, like some of the catches that I've seen, Nuke make is off the walls. Like, I mean, just having like that really exciting catch, like what Arizona did against the Bills this year, that was huge. And then a lot of the catches that he's had with Deshaun Watson, it still blows my mind that he left that team, but that's Bill O'Brien. It shouldn't really blow my mind. But Yeah, I would definitely say like there's just so many new receivers. This was a huge year for receivers coming in as well too. So it's going to be cool to see how that position like keeps
Adams
going.
has definitely taken like I thought people were big on Julio.
Yeah,
And
Julio's dead. Like, who's Julio now?
Adams is definitely like it's Adams, Nuke, and Mike Thomas, right? Those are your three.
That's got to be the three, yeah. And I would say Nuke.
I would.
Diggs has worked his way in there.
You just hate Mike Thomas.
Yeah. No, I love him. I love him. I would say Diggs is up there.
Diggs
this is a hot take. This is a hot take. Give Allen Robinson a quarterback.
Allen Robinson
a quarterback.
Allen Robinson is like Nuke is like Nuke when Nuke didn't have a QB.
Allen Robinson will eat almost every DB alive. I don't care if your name's Jalen Ramsey. Like A-Rob's my guy. I hope so bad. I hope I can't explain to you how much I hope he just comes home to Jacksonville and finally plays the quarterback.
Who was the other Robinson that was there with him? There was two Robinsons at the time.
No, it was two Allens.
Two Allens. That's right.
And Allen Hurns.
That's right. Yeah, I remember back in the day.
Shit up. And it's funny because Marquise Lee was the number one wide receiver we drafted that year.
It's weird how that whole thing happened after Bortles was gone.
And Lee was a stud as well coming out of USC. But yeah, the A-Rob and then
Keenan Allen and A-Rob, the most undervalued superstar receivers, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with that at all.
So
and Diggs still like those are the three most undervalued receivers in football.
Diggs definitely on the up and up this year, huge, like really putting himself into that big boy conversation. Along with Jordan Jefferson is kind of like flirting with that at this point. Jordan had a great year. Justin, that's right. Sorry. Justin, and then also it was another one that came like DK has really just flourished too. So I mean, it's like I said, I love the way that we're seeing the receiver room just kind of move because everyone's really hot to talk about running backs all the time. So it's good to kind of see them getting that love again. You mentioned you're a Jags fan, obviously. So we love Gardner, big Gardner Minshew guys here, and James O'Shaughnessy. Shout out to the boys. You were saying Jared Goff. He was obviously having a lot of issues this past week. You had this take that you mentioned earlier about where Minshew should go. Do tell.
I think that Minshew in Los Angeles for the Rams would be obviously a much cheaper quarterback for that team. They're kind of stuck with Goff right now, but dude, Goff's pocket presence yesterday was some of the worst of all time. And I've seen Minshew.
He had bad thumb.
I've seen Minshew in crumbling pockets just step up.
I agree.
With no receivers and just make plays to where I'm give him an OC. If McVay is the guy that we all think he is and he's not a fake sharp, give fucking Minshew an OC like that and trade for him. Because if the Jaguars are about to get Trevor, obviously, then the Minshew is very valuable. He does not need to be a backup to a franchise quarterback. No. You need to put him somewhere like in New Orleans behind Jameis, or where they're going next year or in Los Angeles. He needs to be given an opportunity to have a great coach that just proves look what he's done. Look what he's done with nothing. Just coming in.
He's got it in him too. It's in his innards. Golf got that pedestal. Goff had that pedestal. He got, he was drafted high. And then you get somebody like Minshew come in. Dude's coming in from Washington State with Mike Leach, just doing wild stuff. You know what I mean? And so seeing him come in and doing what he did, I would love to either see him with the Rams. I also kind of low key, he's not tall enough, but I'd love to see him with the Denver Broncos. And then also, I've been mentioning it all season, the Patriots. Bill, just call him home. Just get him there. It's America. Gardner Minshew, America. Let him wear jorts with that. That's the way.
I low-key think he would be incredible with Josh McDaniels. I don't know why. I think
McDaniels also, it came out today where he's about to interview with Philly.
Yeah. Bill will find a way to keep him home.
I think he's got.
As always. Yeah.
I think they have a deal in waiting for him. I think they have a deal after Belichick because he turned down the Colts job.
Yeah, that was huge. After Frank took that, Frank Wright.
What Minshew did with Leach isn't like that's like Leach is a good coach that propels his player that it, like have their positives
in ways on and off the field too. Which
yes,
is awesome.
And listen, if McVay isn't a fake sharp and Sean Payton isn't a fake sharp like you called me out on earlier, then fucking go and get him because Minshew mania isn't over. Like we've seen way worse quarterbacks than him have careers. How long did Bortles play for the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Imagine if Minshew was our quarterback when we went to the AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down, by the way. Imagine what our team would have been that year. Like
even as a young child, I think he could have brought the fury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you out on the Sean Payton.
We got Bortles in Los Angeles right now, backing up shitty ass Jared Goff.
Yeah, dude, double time Jag boys go to be Ram boys.
I might have called you out on the Sean Payton stuff, but I couldn't agree more about the Pete Carroll thing. And I think that's an underrated take. Like, I think the media loves Pete Carroll because
he chews a lot of gum.
Like, he looks fun. He's an old guy. Like, he just is like, he's so well protected that no one wants to go after him.
Geriatric juicy fruit.
Because of Russ.
Yes.
And that's what's crazy. And then he came out after they lost that fucking abomination of a game last week and said they need to run the ball more. And guess what?
They need to run less.
Goddamn Carson's gone now. Yeah. He's a free agent. What are you gonna do?
I did not expect the Rams to win that.
Rashad Penny, the guy that you traded up in the fucking draft to get that didn't pan out.
Dude, I thought Rashad Penny died. I didn't even know he was still around. Like this guy.
Get the hell out of here with we need to run the ball more. You have Russell Wilson, one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation, and Tyler Lockett, who's a stud, and DK Metcalf, who's already done what more than any of us predicted him to do in the NFL. And you're talking about we need to run the ball more. Like
they need to open the offense up more. They need to do the exact opposite of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Imagine if Kyle Shanahan was the coach there. Imagine.
Yeah. Dude, Seahawks would be all in.
Yeah.
They would be the greatest NFC team.
It would. Yeah. I will say this. It was a pleasure getting to chill tonight, watch these games. Pleasure getting to meet you. Hope you will be coming back here for the Garage Fam. Where can all of the Garage Fam follow you at, Nixon?
FH Nixon on Twitter. I play music. I just released a new album. Well, just released.
Yeah, you did. You
got an album
on Spotify
right before the world shut down last February. You can check it out. Framing Hanley's my band. Name of the album's Envy. You can find me on Twitter at FH Nixon. I love football. I love sports. And thank you guys for having me. I'm sorry I rambled on about so much shit tonight.
It's good to talk football
right now. Yeah. Bills, Packers, Super Bowl. Won't be upset if Brady's there. So I'm rooting for you two there. But I think no matter what, Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. So
that's where I'm moving. I'm moving my love to.
I'd be happy with that. I think that'd be a good year. The Bills win.
We're going to ride the Bills way.
No matter what, there's going to be an asterisk, right? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, the Bills won, of course, because COVID that year.
2020.
Right.
After so many years of just suffering and loss.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way they wipe it off the record book.
That's how it is. We're going to see how this unfolds. Again, thanks so much for coming on, guys. You know where to follow us at Garage Guy Chase, everywhere, at Chef Boyardeen, everywhere. And we will be back. We'll definitely be having you on more. And pleasure meeting you. Awesome time hanging out in the Ville or the towns of Germantown. The Germantown. Good times, man. All right, guys, we're out. Sports, profit, repeat.
It's the Garage Guys. 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 Garage Guys. It's the 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 Garage Guys.